to the Lord's spiritual and Lord's temporal. Ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Kwanza nataka kutoa shukrani kwa kanisa kwa kazi ambayo wanafanya kawaida na siku ya leo, na pili kwa marafiki ambao wamefika hapa siku ya leo kwa ibada ya heshima ya ndugu yetu Jakoyo Midiwo. As has already been said, Jakoyo is my younger brother, but is more of a friend than even a brother. Last time I talked to Jakoyo was on a Thursday, and that Thursday we had lost a sister, Jakoyo's elder sister, and that is when he called in the evening, talking, and he told me I have come back into Nairobi. I'm now in Nairobi, and we are going to meet. But he told me that we have had a comprehensive discussion with Dr. Buru, because this month of June we have had several deaths in the family. We had Madaraka Day, a celebration in Kisumu on the 1st of this month. The weekend, that was a Tuesday. That weekend, on Friday, we buried a grandmother, and then on a Saturday, a grandfather. But before they died, we lost an uncle, who was then buried the weekend after Saturday. Before he was buried, we lost a sister, Jakoyo's elder sister. So she was herself buried last Saturday. Now, Jakoyo was telling me that, look, because these tragedies are too many, you have agreed with the Buru that you, meaning myself, I should not attend them because of the risk of attracting so many people coming to the funeral and the infections, COVID. So he said that we have agreed that once the situation normalizes, we are going to organize a fitting memorial for all of them. And that was our last conversation with him. I told him I'm going the following day, Friday, to bury Kalembe Ndile, Kibwezi. I will then proceed to Mombasa, and we will meet on my return back to Nairobi. And I told him I'll be coming back on Monday. The Monday when I came, we had not talked, and in the evening, as I was sitting in my office, I got a phone call from my sister, one of our cousins, called Mrembo. Mrembo calls me, and she was sobbing. Then she tells me that, I asked her, what's happened? I thought she was probably because of the death of Julia. She said, no, Jakoyo. I said, what has happened to Jakoyo? Jakoyo has died. I couldn't believe it. She told me that we went to see him at his Nairobi hospital, at the ICU. We talked with him. Then we left him there, we said farewell. And as we walked out of the hospital, a few minutes later we were called to rush back to the hospital. And when we went back, he was dead. So I rushed to Nairobi hospital at the ICU, and I found Jakoyo lying there. He was actually smiling. And I thought I could talk to him, but he was dead. I didn't even know how to conduct myself. Then we talked to the doctor. So it is a very, very emotional thing for us as a family, losing Jakoyo. Jakoyo was one of us. Our mothers, my mother was the eldest. And then we had only one uncle. And then Jakoyo's mother, Margaret, was the last one. But we've grown up together almost as family. In their house, there was the elder brother who was called Odur. Then followed by Julia Okwero, the one who was buried last Saturday. Then the professor, Jack Midiwo, is called Kingi, because he was born when King George died. Then there was a girl called Akinyi. Then there's Aoko Midiwo Odembo. Then thereafter there's Jalango. Jalango basically in the Luo means Kalenjin. Then there was the Jakoyo. And then after that there was the late Akoth. They were 8, we were 9. But our uncle had 30. Because he said he was the only son, he wanted to make up for what his father did not get. So our uncle had 3 wives. The first wife gave birth to 12 children. 6 boys, 6 girls. The second wife gave birth to 10 children. 5 boys, 5 girls. The third one gave birth to 8. 4 boys, 4 girls. So we ended up with 30 children, 15 boys, 15 girls. That was our uncle, who followed the tradition of our grandfather, was a great soccer player. Jakoyo, we brought him up, me and Jack. And eventually, he went to the United States and studied the way it's written there in his obituary. And while he was there, he stayed with my other children. Fidel is the one who brought Fidel from Texas to D.C. Then he also stayed with my other daughter, Rosemary. Rosemary is not here today because she's on a safari out of the country. And lived with them and protected them while they were studying there in the United States. So there's so many intimate things that you've done with Jakoyo. When he came back here, he was in business. Then he told me he wanted to get into politics. He had been involved in politics when he was still a student in the United States. They want to organize, that time first, the Ford Kenya branch in Washington, D.C., which they eventually turned into the NDP branch. Eventually became LDP, and then NAC branch in D.C. and the United States of America. So after a short period of time, when the elections came, he said he wanted to run. And he went and ran and became a member of Game constituency. Everything has been said about his contributions in Parliament. I don't want to belabor that. But Jakoyo was not just a politician. He did much more beyond just politics. And he united the people, the various communities. He was a true Kenyan, not just a constituency member of parliament. And he had a very, very clear vision as to what Kenya should be. And he used to express it sometimes very emotionally. He can express his emotions sometimes very, very strongly. He was not to be pushed back this way or that way. That is actually in our blood, it's in our genes. You can trace it back to our parents and our grandparents, where we came from. So we are very happy that all of you have come to help us give Jakoyo what you can call a fitting send-off. It is at bad times because we are doing this at the times of COVID, and therefore there are a lot of restrictions. But even back home, we are going to do everything to ensure that the protocols are observed, that there will be social distancing, little contacts, and no feasting at the funerals. This is as Jakoyo would have wished it, and I would have loved it. So we thank everybody, all Kenyans. I'm also bringing here the condolences of President Uhuru Kenyatta. We've just been with him flagging off the Safari rally, and we left him in that function. And that's the reason why he did not come here. But he says he's with his family in spirit. So I don't want to continue beyond this point, because today is not a day for politicking. It's a day to remember Jakoyo. But as they always say, that when you are burying a churchman, it's buried by the church people. When they're burying the witch doctors, it's buried by his fellow witch doctors. And therefore, when you're burying a politician, he's also buried by his fellow politicians. So birds of the same feather. I think what is important is for us to come together as the people of Kenya. And we put away our ethnic origins to bring Kenya first. Kenya Kwanza. This is what is most important. And I think that Jakoyo's spirit should work to unite us together going forward. Thank you very much. May the Lord rest Jakoyo's soul in eternal peace.
Thank you so much.